and get that recording started. And then I just would like to welcome everyone to our monthly mastermind meeting here at Workagenics. And we did kind of an informal introduction to Hayden, but I wanted to more formally introduce Hayden, our new business development specialist here at Workagenics, local here in Chattanooga. He's also available to do consults and guidance with our existing customers as you have questions about task boards or leveraging the virtual professionals or wanting to think about adding additional virtual professionals to your teams. He's also going to be meeting with others and doing a lot of networking. He's got a great idea for a new podcast he's working on, and I'll let him kind of do a little more introduction on himself and share his background. Go ahead, Hayden.
Yeah, sure. So my background, I've been in customer service for the majority of my life and also done some sales as well. I had the pleasure of working at Chick-fil-A for about 4.5 years, and that taught me a lot about, how to build networks with people and communicating with customers. Now that I'm in Chattanooga, I love to go out and constantly be meeting with new people and build new relationships. And also as a senior at UTC, I use the facility or the faculty that's there, and they help mentor me and point me in the right direction. So those are some of the things that I do. And as Harley kind of alluded to, the podcast I'm starting out is going to be all about networking. So I want to kind of inspire people of all ages to get out there and really kind of push themselves and build networks and talk about from existing business owners the benefit that they've had from doing network activities and what kind of business that's led them to.
Thank you, Hayden. I'm sure some of our clients might be interested in being guests and getting interviewed by you on your podcast once you have that going as well.
Absolutely, love to.
Awesome. So, we've traditionally kind of had an informal mastermind here. For this week, Hayden presented something to me recently that I thought was really cool and could greatly benefit our clients as well as our virtual professionals. And so I've asked Hayden to share about this new AI chatbot. I know there's several different AI chatbots out there. This one's actually been in the news a lot recently. It's quite powerful and I think has a lot of potential to benefit all of us in our businesses in some way, as well as, further allow our virtual professionals that are working for us to leverage it to optimize their time that they spend working for us as well. So Hayden, you want to take a few minutes and kind of introduce the tool and share some things you've learned about it? I think it's offline right now. Unfortunately, it's probably getting slammed because it's in like every news article. So that's probably why it's down.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it a little bit more. So I came across a LinkedIn article, and it was talking about how teachers are terrified of this new program called ChatGPT. And I had heard a few rumblings about like AI and about the program itself. And I finally was like, okay, I need to just like sign up for this thing. It's free and see what it can do. And the first thing that I did was I signed in, and I just was thinking about it from a business perspective because I was like seeing it on LinkedIn. So I was in that business mindset. And I typed in the prompt box and I just said, write a marketing email for my food tour company. I partner with another company called Chat Taste, and I just put that in there and it wrote out a whole just great curated marketing email that only needed about 2 to 3 edits to be able to just paste into an inbox and send out to customers. And then also, as I was coming up with podcast ideas, I was trying to think about the name for my podcast. And I'm not like an inherently creative person, as some people are. I try to think out of the box, but sometimes I really struggle with like, especially things coming up with a name or something like that. So I plugged in, come up with some names for my podcast. And it spit out a list of 10 different really cool names based off of like the subject that I put in the prompt. And as soon as I saw this, I sent it to Harley because I was like, man, we could leverage this for all of our clients. I will kind of preface it. It is a new technology. So it's very much in its infancy stage. And right now, if you are using ChatGPT, you are in a beta. So there's no guarantee of it constantly being serviceable, and it can be just a little bit unreliable at times. But with that being said, as a free resource, when it is working, it's an incredible tool. And hopefully they'll be able to get it a little bit more reliable here. As Harley mentioned, it's just getting slammed right now because so many people want to try it because it's the next new thing. But I think once they get their systems kind of refined and everything, it'll be a wonderful tool, not only for your personal business, but also for your virtual professional to take advantage of, because it not only can it write content, but also it can help troubleshoot. So if your professional is having an issue with, say, QuickBooks, and they're trying to upload a document, but they're not quite sure how to, they can ask ChatGPT, and it scours the web, and it basically makes a step-by-step list for them to solve that problem. So that way they don't have to contact you for that problem solving on the base level. So that's kind of like my thoughts for how we can use it, but there's so many other ways you can utilize it in your own business as well, and that we plan to utilize for Workergenics.
Thanks, Hayden. That was great. Some of the other things that kind of just quickly came to my mind when he presented this to me was social media captions and video titles, or like blog post titles, getting ideas just for subjects. Like you can type in, hey, give me some social media captions to promote my beach house. And it just spits out a whole ton of them. And so like I've had our social media guy this last week go through our past reviews that we've received on Airbnb and VRBO and all those places for some of our beach houses, and make them into nice graphics, and then post them on those Facebook pages for those houses and add captions. And rather than like expecting him to come up with a unique, creative, kind of gracious phrase for every single different review we have and have all these posts, I was like, hey, just try getting some suggestions from ChatGPT, and he did that. And it's been incredible. And of course, like some of them are not ideal. You gotta still use some intelligence, but it saves the virtual professional potentially hours of writer's block up front trying to come up with these things, and gives them like a solid basis that's grammatically correct and has correct spelling that they can take and then modify and tailor, rather than having to come up. It's a lot easier to edit and cut away and create new content, as we all know. Another example that I use it for, I plan on doing kind of a media rush to announce Hayden in our new position with like local business publications. And so to do that, we want to put together a press release. Well, I'm not in media, but I don't have to be to know how to do it, because I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, what are the best practices for doing a press release? And it spit out like literally 4 paragraphs of like, here are best practices for writing a press release. And the next step would be, okay, give me an example press release, or write a press release for Hayden as new business development specialist. And it just spits out this like amazing kind of template material that is also timely. And in fact, one of the examples that Hayden gave was when he first showed it to me, is like, write a newsletter for my legal firm or something like that. And it wrote a whole page newsletter that was like timely. It talked about tax deadlines coming up, had specific dates. It said Happy New Year. It's amazing. And so it's just like, you can leverage this tool to just get a head start on all these content creating tasks that we have in our businesses that generally take a lot of time, either on us or on the virtual professional to put together, especially that content creation. So I think we've just kind of started to scratch the surface on it. There's probably a lot more applications for it. We've kind of directed all of our, we have directed all of our virtual professionals to go ahead and create accounts. So all of our virtual professionals working for our clients now should have access to it. I was a little worried because they had like phone verification, but it's good with the Philippines, so they're able to access that and utilize it on your behalf on our clients' behalf for work going forward. Anyone have any questions about it? Like Joel or Joe or Adrian?
Yeah. So I've heard of this. I don't know how closely related it is, but this tool called Jarvis AI that basically will write content for you. I haven't played with it at all. So one question I have is, how much do you have to give Chat GPT in order to give you an output. Like you literally just say, hey, I want a press release for announcing a new BDR, our business development rep. And it says, here it is.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
like one. You give it one line.
It's incredible. I'm going to send you a link to a short little YouTube video. I can't play it on here because for some reason my audio won't come across. But it's, have you heard of Mint Mobile with like Ryan Reynolds and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's Ryan Reynolds, and he had ChatGPT write a commercial for him. And he gave it certain qualifications, and he tells about like what the prompt he put in, and then you can kind of listen to what he got back. Again, I wish I could just like demonstrate it to you because it's pretty incredible what it can do, but with the traffic they're getting, it looks like it's, oh yeah, I'm getting a little bit here. I'm trying to refresh it. Let me see if it'll let me get in here. Because I can give you a little bit better of a description of what it can do, but yeah, it's one sentence. And it's up. So let me share my screen real fast. So Joel, I'll use your business as a kind of great example of like what it can do. Are you able to see my screen here?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, yep. So let's say write a newsletter for my business called, what's your business name, Joel?
Mountain Modern Vacation.
Do you do short-term rentals?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like to put like short-term rental business. All right, so you just click enter.
Awesome. Joel's got a sale going on, 15% off.
I know.
That's right.
Promotion idea.
Yeah. So, and obviously, like you could tailor that. So it's like if you want 10% off, or if you just want to completely delete that, but it gives you such a good start, and then you can also give it more. Like I can say, write a newsletter for my short-term rental company, and then I can feed it.
Will it do, like if you put in a criteria like search engine optimized, like title for website?
So like what would you want to search for?
Well, put something like write a website header that is SEO optimized for Mountain Modern Vacation. There we go.
Let's see what we get. I haven't ever tried this. That's what I love about it, is like you can just literally play around with it and see what you get. On some things it works great, and then other things doesn't. But here we go.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I just love it because you took something that maybe would take you 15 minutes with brain power to think about and research, and it just plug it in, and you can take that and change what you want. But let me say respond.
Write like 3 examples, or like give it that criteria.
You can literally say, give me 3 examples. You don't even have to retype. It'll just give you 3 examples. It knows what you're talking about.
All right, we can all retire. We've been replaced.
Awesome.
I don't think it's quite that, but it's just it's a resource. Now you don't have to pay a marketing person for that. You can just have your assistant do it and send it to you before they obviously send it out, so you make sure that it's what you're looking for. But you can utilize a service at between 12 to 14 bucks an hour instead of having to go pay somebody to do this whole pay and everything.
So real quick, Kaden,
I think it's
Jill's having some issues unmuting her phone, but she had some good questions that she just texted me. She asked, could the chat GPT be used with like generating contracts? She's in the cleaning business and like short-term rental cleanings and things like that.
Sure.
And so I imagine, dealing with contracts with clients as well as with employees.
Let me check again. Let's see. I love exploring, and it's kind of fun to call because I feel like it's a great place to do that. Can y'all see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay. What's your cleaning business called, Jill?
She's muted. Let me. Integrated cleaning solutions, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I remember right.
Yes, integrated cleaning solutions.
Okay. And what's the contract about?
Yes.
What's generated?
Let's just say like, managing or like cleaning a short-term rental. I think she also does maintenance as well. Okay, she's chat. Hayden, I don't know if you're seeing, she is putting some messages in the main chat. She confirmed the business name and services there.
Okay. I'm just kind of gonna run with this. I have to type a little bit more of this just to give it details to fill out that contract. And the all right. So let's just try this and see what pops up. So I just said generate a contract to clean a short-term vacation rental, my cleaning business. The address is 1234 Queen Street, and the client name's for reverse. Just kind of prompt I put in there. So yes, you can.
Very cool. Thanks for putting that together. Great question, Jill. And then she was also asking for examples on like QuickBooks. Can you do one of the examples on doing something with QuickBooks?
Sure. Yeah. So say your assistant's working on your QuickBooks here, and they have a question about how to upload one of your employees' 1099s.
One thing that's really cool, I don't know if like you guys caught that, it even included like statements about the governing law of Tennessee that it extracted just from the original address. Like Hayden didn't have to say, make a contract for the state of Tennessee.
And obviously, like if you're doing a legal document, you always want to consult that with your lawyer. But you could at least get a start here. Instead of having to pay a lawyer to draw it up, you can have them,
A quick
pay them
review
half
is
to
a
look
lot
it
cheaper
over.
than.
Right. So so I asked about the QuickBooks thing. So it gives you step-by-step instructions, and it is very clear to like go to the list menu and select chart of accounts. I know that like sometimes when I'm looking up step-by-step instructions, it can be kind of vague, and it seems to be that ChatGPT, it gives really good and clear, like it always laid out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's super easy to break down and know exactly what you need to do.
Now, I've heard something about it doing more than just creating verbal content or like doing a newsletter or a headline, like that it actually will write code. Like, I think I saw an example on LinkedIn yesterday where somebody was saying, basically, write code for a certain type of program, and it actually did what you'd have to pay a software developer to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like since I'm using WordPress now, if you asked it, tell me how to, well, not tell me how to, using WordPress, how would I add a blog to my website?
Wait, sorry. I got curious if it can make a video when you're talking about that. So it is text-based, so it can't make videos for you as now. So it all has to be a text entry. But I'll just plug this in and see what it gives me. Quite on, I wouldn't doubt if it can pull from code. Something to mention about this is kind of a great segue and a good talking point here. So when this was created, it was made with data from 2020 and 2021. So it's not it's a constantly updated database. So if you're looking for current things, like current information, that is going to be where you may have an issue. It's still fairly recent data because it's from the last year or two. But also, like if you ask it about a current event or some new technology, it's probably not going to have that ability. But for stuff that's been around for a while, like WordPress, you should be able to get some pretty specific and good ways to be able to help you out with that.
And
so here's kind of the
along those lines, we do have a lot of virtual professionals that have WordPress experience. And so, for example, like all of our Workogenics and Adrian's real estate and our other personal web pages are all built and maintained by virtual professionals that have strong WordPress experience.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Hayden. I appreciate you sharing all that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad it came back up. So it's one of those things you have to play with just a little bit. Again, just you have to be patient with it because it's a new technology and does have limitations, but I think it also at the same time is going to be an awesome new tool for us to have in our belt.
All right, and then one announcement I wanted to share with our existing clients. I may have reached out to some of you already. We're doing 25% off for new clients that sign up in the month of January. So if you have any friends that you think could benefit from having a virtual professional in their business, you want to send them to Hayden or I here, we can talk to them about that. And if they just say, hey, yeah, I want to sign up, do the client agreement anytime in the month of January, we can get them that 25% discount off that first month. And then for existing clients too, we are offering, if you wanted to upgrade, if you needed to say, hey, I want to have another person that does WordPress, or make the assistant I have that's part-time go to full-time, we'll do 25% discount on that first upgraded month. If you let us know you want to do that anytime here in January. So just kind of keep those in mind as we are working on our 2023 goals and you talk to other people. I've been speaking to a lot of small businesses just the last couple of weeks about their goals and how they're going to get there. And you're not going to achieve your goals if you just keep doing the same thing you were doing last year. You got to do something different. And a lot of times the most cost-effective way to do that is with a virtual professional to free you up, as you all know, so you can do the things that grow your business and not mess with building WordPress or writing press releases and newsletters. Does anybody have any questions? We kind of went on that deep dive on ChatGPT, which I think is going to be incredible for all of us. But happy to spend a few minutes here before we're out of time to talk about any other ideas or ways you guys have been using your virtual professionals that you'd like to share, or some kind of positive experiences you've had recently that have just been a win that you might want to let everybody else know about.
There's something, it's not actually related to the virtual professional, but it's something that I have been experimenting with and just recently it's very early stage, but had some success. We've been doing paid ads for the first time, and I connected with 2 different people. Thankfully, I'm trying a bunch of stuff. I guess I'm doing a failing fast type of experiment on a few things. But the first guy that we had do paid ads for our site, we had it drew traffic. This is a guy who had an e-commerce background. He built a company that has now $27 million a year revenue, and like very successful product and marketing campaigns. But my service is very different from e-commerce, and we did all these ad campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, and Google, and had like no converts or whatever. And then I started a different campaign where this guy has a company called STR Advertising, and he's based out of Seattle. And what he does is he basically runs Facebook ads and connects to your Airbnb listing to the ads instead of your site. So I started these ads on January 7th, and I've only looked at a couple of the properties. I just looked at this right before the call, and I was connecting with this guy. But we literally have gone from one of our listings was on page 10. It's now on page 4 on Airbnb, just after 4 days.
Wow. Do you want to share that link to that service in our chat here?
Yes. Try to find it.
And I see Jill's given us some input here on the chat. We'll talk to that in just a second once we're done hearing from you, Joel.
Well, it's the kind of thing that and what's interesting is he uses a virtual professional from the Philippines as well.
All the good businesses do.
Yeah. I just gotta find. He's got like 7 links, so I'm just trying to find the right one. STR Advertising. Okay. Okay. So we'll see. I'm 4 days into this process, and he's I don't know how much time he has, if he's looking to take on more clients right now, but he's very open book. He's not like, I've got the trade secrets, like no one else can use this. He's much more open to share how he's successful. So, he's basically told me, like, if we can get you up and running and you just want to use these ads and engage with me just every few months to tweak it, I'm fine with that. Like, you don't have to pay to engage with me like every month, unless you want to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about Joel's comment in just a second here, because what you just said is a good segue for a new thing that I'm in the works with for Workogenics. I just met a guy recently who does SEO optimization for people's businesses, and we're going to do a little partnership with him where he will provide free of charge for all existing and future Workogenics clients a SEO consult on your business, including setting up like Google business pages and things like that, if you guys don't already have them, and just giving kind of feedback on that totally free of charge, so that everyone can kind of get on the right foot with like SEO and their websites and things like that. So I'm still working on getting like all the marketing and verbiage and stuff like that put together with him. But keep an eye out. We'll be sending out direct emails. I'm not going to like share your emails with him. I'm just going to send you guys an email with the summary of the offering. And then if you guys think that's of value, you can reach out to him and get that set up, and he'd be happy to give you that free consultation. So keep an eye out for that. Jill put in the chat, I know her phone's giving her issues with muting, that she's very happy with her virtual professional. His name is Ashley, and she's struggling with QuickBooks. And so Joe, I'd love to chat with you maybe offline about the QuickBooks. We do have clients that have the virtual professional set up QuickBooks, and we have a lot of varying levels of QuickBooks expertise with our virtual professionals. And I'd be happy to set something up where we can do a short burst where we get one of our extra QuickBooks pros to help you get that set up, and then they can also train Ashley, because I know her background is more like the marketing. They could train her to do like maintenance mode for you on the QuickBooks. So get with me after, and we can get something like that set up for you. And yeah, we definitely feel you on the getting away on trips, and you're trying to run a small business can be challenging. Adrian can probably speak to that even more than me with her team.
Well, I was gonna say with the QuickBooks stuff, like, you probably do want to set it up, Jill, or work with someone to set it up so it's the way you want. And then my first virtual professional who helped with QuickBooks had no special QuickBooks experience. They just followed what I had done. And so it was pretty easy to kind of set up that system by just recording some videos of like, screen share, this is what I do in QuickBooks, this is how I categorize things. And then she wrote up the procedure with the rules, like this kind of receipt is tagged as this, and this is what we do with it. And then now I just take every receipt and I take a photo of it. I put it in, I either email it to the admin or I save it in Drive, and they go in once a week and they take up from Drive, match the receipts with the transactions in QuickBooks and categorize it all. And it is only like, everybody is behind on QuickBooks. I have a realtor friend who she needs to finish, because you don't know who she is, her taxes from 2021 right now, guys. Like, those are not done and submitted to the IRS yet. So it's totally normal to be behind on that. And yet it's so important to be able to make business decisions, to have your books updated. And so once you figure that out, they can definitely be the operations person. And so I was going to say, it's only since I have virtual professionals do my everyday QuickBooks stuff that we are up to date. So it is difficult. It takes you, I'd say, to do that first 20% of setting it up. At least you can take solace, and then they'll be able to do the other 80% from there on out.
That's okay. I've been 4 years behind on taxes at one point in my life. So I can beat just about anybody on that one.
Yeah. I always joke in like my BNI, we really need a CPA in our BNI group, because it's like so many small businesses need to have like that, initial consult and kind of get things set up. We do have the virtual professionals that are QuickBooks pros and can get things set up. Sometimes it helps if you're in a really crazy situation to have like a local CPA kind of get it set up too. We have CPAs that are clients that I can connect you guys with as well if you want to consult with them. There was something I was going to say on that QuickBooks thing, or something Adrian said, and I totally lost track of that. It'll come to me. Any other questions or comments, Hayden? Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
The only other thing I have, like kind of industry related, that I'm wondering what the impact is going to be. Did I just? Am I stuck? Okay. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Google Vacation Rentals.
No, is that new?
But yeah, this definitely something you want to research, because just like if you search for a stay in an area and Google will automatically tell you like, here's the hotels in the area, they're starting to get into vacation rentals and listing vacation rentals with all of those stays, but only certain software or property management software is like Google approved. And so the ones that have their software aligned with Google Vacation Rentals will be the first ones on the pages. But like, it is something that actually could be a game changer and disrupt the, you're either staying with Airbnb or Vrbo, like, you know.
That's pretty cool. We'll have to keep an eye on that and keep us updated as you learn more, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember what I was going to say. It was back to like talking about small business owners behind on taxes. I just got a client referral today, like right before the meeting. I was on a phone call about it. The small business owner like hasn't done taxes in like years, like 5-10 years. Everything is in cash, no QuickBooks, just spreadsheet, probably not even spreadsheets, just bank statements, like no accounting. It's rough. So it is a great client for us because we can get them an executive assistant that can do QuickBooks for them, get everything worked out with the CPA so they don't have to mess with worrying and stressing about all that. So yeah, that is, people are not alone. Joe, you're not alone in being behind on your accounting. That is a really common issue. And there is thankfully solutions to it, and happy to help get that figured out for you here so you're not as stressed. All right, well, it has been about 45 minutes here. I don't want to take too much of everybody's time. I really appreciate everyone who's joining us and all the feedback and ideas. Thank you, Hayden, for sharing about the new Chat GPT software. And I think we'll call it a meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.